Tomorrow is the most important thing in life. Comes into us at midnight, very clean. It's perfect when it arrives, puts itself in our hands, in hopes we've learned something from yesterday. These are the words emblazoned upon his memorial stone. It reminds us just how rugged and practical this man was. I'm speaking today about Marion Mitchell Morrison, or as Hollywood dubbed him, John Wayne. John was a man's man, rugged and free, an American hero. His life work was giving of himself, his heart and his soul to the big screen. He was an actor, a director, and even a producer. Born May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa. In 1911, his family moved to Palmdale, California, so his dad could find work as a pharmacist. On his way to school in Glendale, he was noticed by local firemen who started to call him Little Duke, because he never went anywhere without that Airedale Terrier of his named Duke. As he got older, he preferred Duke to Marion, and so the name stuck with him the rest of his whole life. John was a great football player. He went to USC on a football scholarship. Unfortunately for him, but fortunate for us, he had a surfing injury that stopped his athletic career dead in its tracks. With no football, he lost all his scholarships. It was that very injury and the need for survival that put him into the film industry. He tinkered in many different films, and then in 1939 received his big break in the movie Stagecoach. From then on, he was off to becoming a legend. He starred in several dozen westerns: She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, McClintock, The War Wagon, The Comancheros, The Searchers, and one of my favorites, Chisholm. Although never serving a day militarily in his entire life, his films and public figure recruited more men to military service than any other man alive. His films spanned three wars: World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Titles like The Flying Leathernecks, Flying Tigers, The Longest Day, The Green Berets, and no one can forget They Were Expendable. That was the movie which covered the life of a PT boat and its crew in the South Pacific in World War II, and just how expendable life in the military really is. Harold C. Hutchinson said, "The saddest thing when one thinks about John Wayne's movies today is the fact that these days Hollywood doesn't make movies like these anymore." In 1964, an illness almost cost him his life. He was a chain smoker, and it had taken its toll on his body. He developed lung cancer so severely, his entire left lung had to be removed. John, being the man he was, even used this tragedy to give back to those who gave to him. Instead of becoming a quiet recluse, he chose to share his tragedy with the nation, with the world, and become an advocate against cigarettes and their dangers to both young and old. John said all battles are fought by scared men who would rather have been somewhere else. Much to our loss, June 11th, 1979, John lost his battle with cancer. Later on in that year, for all his work in the film industry, he was awarded two of the highest civilian awards: the Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. John was a man's man, a true American hero. The legendary Charlton Heston noted, "Wayne's greatest achievement may have been creating John Wayne. The character he played, the character he invented, was the American persona of a man who is hard and believing in doing what's right, and John did it against all odds."